I've been around, yeah, I done sat up on them couches. Now they like whatever works and they ain't bout shit. And they still hit me for that work, I got the sound biz. Yeah, man, cause I got everything they can't find. I thank you for the patience in my climb. And you know I get the paper, get the dime. Finally, I can say I am free. There's no defining me. Found what's inside of me.
Nath, can I have your autograph?
You see it manifested, it's divine. Cause I got everything they can't find. I thank you for the patience in my climb. And you know I get the paper, get the dime. Finally, I can say I am free. There's no defining me. Found what's inside of me. I know there's many steps to take, I'm in another space. Some moves bigger and some other moves is just mistakes. I got quicker with my EXP another day. The only difference is I love to work, you love to hate. I know I got so hope you're hearing this. My only advice is fall in love with experience. I made it far and the homies getting delirious. Like they control me, no homie, you can't be serious. From the dust, I chose my call. At the top and never fall. Take no breaks or I'ma fall. You going hard, but I'm a ball. Only do this shit for fun. If they bogey, I'm holding one. I got chosen like I'm the one. I got golden up in the blunt.
Nath, can I have your autograph?
You see it manifested, it's the
We're all gonna fucking die. Is anyone paying attention to history? Did anyone take history class? I don't know if you realize this, but some of the strategies that were used to actually build this nation we're no longer able to use them. So we're no longer able to use them to keep going on the path that we're on. So we can use them to create the nation, but we can't use them to continue the nation. So they're square one. And let me prove it to you. And in case you're like, no, we have all our rights. Yeah, I have all our rights. If you're jobless too, you might have all your rights, but you don't have the money to actually use them. So let me explain this to you real quick. Back in the 1700s and the 1600s, beginning this nation, we used tactics that are today known as, guerrilla warfare. We had Minutemen, militiamen. we had a constitutionally backed militia, not just a military, but a militia, meaning citizens that were ready for war at any point. Well, when you look at today's landscape, and you have mass unarmed box-shaped buildings, and they want you to think outside the box, but you work inside the box. But that's a different discussion for a different day. So try and think outside the box as best as possible with me here for a second. They have these unarmed box-shaped buildings with hundreds of unarmed people in them, which you're not allowed to bring a firearm into. So the only people that get in with a firearm are the ones with bad intentions in the first place. And then you wonder why that happens and everyone dies. Well, it's easy, because you didn't let any of the good people bring a firearm in. And then if they did have the balls to walk up to security with a firearm, you'd look at them like they're fucking crazy. You'd turn around and treat them like they're fucking crazy. That's why. I mean, you know why. You know why everyone's gonna fucking die. Because you're a sick human being. You're a sick American who judges things by the looks, and that's why. I mean, that's why. You can't open your mind enough to allow yourself to prosper. You're all gonna die. So let's look at, I worked at FedEx a while ago. They never let us have guns on the premises or anything like that. Now, thank God I never had anybody come and try to do anything to our building. But, well, even when I was on route, they would tell me, dude, if anybody tries to do anything to your truck, anybody tries to attack you while you're doing your route and you're on your truck, he said, you have all rights to throw a box at them, fucking use this fire extinguisher and hit them in the face with it. Pretty much, said I could use anything on the truck as a weapon and defend myself. But let's think about that, unemployed citizen with a gun who needs his money, who needs to steal a box, who needs to take over a fucking FedEx truck. I am not defending against that. Like, doesn't matter how many boxes I have. I mean, yeah, maybe, there's a chance. If I play it super smart and the guy is a fucking dumbass, yeah, I'll survive that. But 9 times out of 10, it's just an unneeded challenge, because had the boss just let me fucking carry my gun and then do my job, my route, while I had my pistol strapped to my waist, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But it's like you want us to die, bro. If you're not looking at, and they pretend like the world needs us and that it doesn't want to just, they pretend like the world needs us, and not that it just wants our money, but that the world needs us. They manipulated the America into believing that. They manipulate us into believing that they need our money all the time, bro. We're in a worse position than them. Wake up and look at the fucking roses. We've once again given these other countries an inch and they took a foot. Now we're left with 3/4 of an inch. And people are telling you, we don't have the money to do the right thing. The only thing that seems economically viable right now is to continue on the wrong path. Go for it. We're all gonna die. We're all, and not by natural fucking means. Go for it. Go for it. So, what you learn from history is that, you know, let's say war struck out between the times of 9 to 5. What you learn from history is that, and what you learn from the economic landscape right now, and you add all this stuff up, and you factor it all in, and what you realize, there is not enough unemployed people with guns. And there's not enough, there's no employed people with guns to ever defend our nation against a real attack. There's not enough. And they don't allow it. The government doesn't, I don't know if they don't allow it, if they incentivize buildings to go firearm free. I don't know if somebody went in to, either way, even if someone went into a warehouse and shot it up, and then that's why they made the no firearms rule. Like, if there was a time when you could bring a firearm in, someone fucked up and brought it in and started firing at people, so they said, all right, no firearms. One person couldn't handle it, so 500 of you gotta suffer. Even then, I still don't get it, because it's like, well, that's why we should be allowed to bring firearms in, to stop from that happening. You putting a no firearm sign up, anybody who actually wants to shoot up the building, they don't give a shit, bro. They don't give a shit. I don't get why you don't understand that. It means nothing to them. But to the workers that, you know, follow every fucking rule and they just want their life to actually mean something, you enforce a rule that makes their life helpless. It's helpless and harmless. It's helpless and harmless. It's a poor little fucking puppy dog. It's a stranded fucking puppy dog. That's how I look at you guys. I just want you guys to know that you guys that are all employed and you think that I'm just laughing at you, I feel bad. I feel fucking bad, dude. I mean, I can't imagine having your fucking boss blackmail you 24/7 with your job over your head, being like, here, you gotta do this or you're gonna fucking lose your job. Like, I couldn't imagine that. I couldn't imagine people being like, watching the news about fucking being closer than ever to World War III. And then, like, hearing from people like, hey, you know, like, we can't even say what we want anymore on Facebook. Not even just hearing from people. Some of you are experiencing this firsthand. Like, they're already taking our First Amendment right, dude. Yeah, guess where that's headed? And guess what? They already started taking your Second Amendment too in certain places. That's how they started. That's how they start this movement. Because, see, if they can take it in certain places, all they need to do is put themselves strategically in a position where you need to be in those places. Like, you want to know how they fucking take away your First and Second Amendment? They take them away in certain areas, and then they strategically make it so you need to be in those areas to prosper. I wouldn't fucking lie to you. I wouldn't lie. I have no reason to. I have nothing to gain. I have everything to fucking lose here. I've been getting 0 views. I have nothing to gain. Being like, oh, I'm going to gain something from this one. That's why I'm saying it. No. I fucking expect 0 views every time. I expect nothing but death and taxes. So anything outside that, That's just people going above and beyond. Anything outside of death and taxes is just the people going above and beyond. You ever realize because there's manufactured figureheads that need to fill these positions, these high up positions, so that they can maintain those high up positions and run them in a certain way? For that reason, there's no longer a such thing as getting ahead. Nope, we don't have getting ahead. We don't have working harder to get ahead. Absolutely not. There's no such thing. Because there's always something that'll bump you right back to, like when you get ahead, there's always one thing that will bump you back into line. Whether it's a slight money shortage, the falling of your paycheck, getting sick. Like there's always something, it seems like, for us young Americans to get ahead. We are in line with everyone else, and just keeping up with that. Like all that we have anymore is just keeping up. There's no getting ahead. It's just keeping up and not falling too far behind. There is no such thing as getting ahead for us. Like, yeah, we can fool ourselves into believing, yeah, man, we're busting ass so we can get ahead. And then there's fucking a million other people who are doing the same thing. So realistically, we're just keeping up. And some of you might look at this like it's symptoms of a progressive society. But actually having everybody equally as competitive, that's debatably a good thing, but the other things are not. Not being able to have a gun in your school, like your teacher having a gun in the school. Like if I was going to shoot up the school right now, I'll tell you one thing, I'm not meeting any resistance. Like if I really, the only resistance I'm meeting is my personal relationship with God and my religion and the law, and my personal, belief with the law that I don't believe it's okay to kill people. But let's say that I didn't care about that. Let's say that I was going to go shoot up the school. Just for the sake of hypothetical, right? Just for the sake of hypothetical. Let's ride this line for a minute and get some knowledge from it. I know it's harsh, but let's ride the line and get some knowledge from it. If I was going to shoot up the school, I would not meet any resistance whatsoever. And I mean whatsoever. Now, honestly, in the shoes where my goal is to shoot up the school, and a hypothetical, that's my goal. But let's say hypothetically we give the principal a gun. I can assure you I'd be at least 80% more scared. I'd be contemplating my decisions at that point. Like maybe the police wasn't a big enough punishment, but you give the fucking principal a gun, and it's like, okay, well, yeah, I'm fine with prison time for this, but all of a sudden I'm no longer fine with dying for this. You add the possibility of death into that mix, and then it's like, yeah, it's not worth it anymore. The only reason these people are fine with shooting up a school is because there was no chance of death. They knew they were going to survive either way. They're going to live either fucking way. They're going to continue on forth with their life either fucking way. All they got to do is just erase the memory of doing it from their brain. But and then deal with the time. inside jail, but it's like then they're thrown back on the streets, and it's like they never even did the crime. They're just back on the streets like they never even did it. But you add the chance of them dying, just the chance. Just add the chance of them dying, and they no longer want to do it. It's funny. It's like magic. It's like magic. There was a time where, when we were at war, some of the strongest, most prolific men, the most brave men, were armed. But most importantly, they had they were armed, but most importantly, they had the freedom of access to the firearm at most given points. Like, none of the work they were doing was so far out of reach of their firearm that they couldn't defend their country. But nowadays, if we saw an attack, like if some town or city started getting attacked, whenever the local UPS driver wants to step out and try to defend their country, and they're strong, they're strong men. UPS drivers are on their feet all day, picking up boxes all day. But let's say they're like in the position where, they got to make the decision to fight for their country. There is no gun, dude. They got to drive home 30 minutes to their house and go get their fucking firearm. Even then, if they make it back to work on Monday, they're going to be hearing it from their boss. Why did you fucking drive our company truck to your house? And all this other bullshit. It's like, nigga, do you want to die? Do you want to die? Like, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to like suicidal. That shit can play out in your decision making. Being suicidal can bleed into your decision making. And I just gotta wonder, if you don't want your employees armed, do you want to die? Do you want to? I'm not asking as like a threat. I'm asking as like a psychology thing. Like, why would you not want I would have to guess that you want death. Like, I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Like, I'm not threatening anybody. I'm simply saying that to not want to take the measures to defend yourself, to ensure a longevity of your life and your employee's life, to not create rules that ensure the longevity of that ensure the protection of that, and to make rules that actually take away things that ensure the longevity of that. I have to assume, deep down, that you want to die. There is no other thing to draw from these kind of experiences and these kind of philosophies. You either give them more freedom or you have to impose more control. There's only two options, and I'm going to tell you the one that increases freedom but fixes the most problems at the same time. As long as you have well-minded people holding those firearms, and that's why we have background checks in the first place. So as long as those are being done right, We have a Second Amendment right for a reason. It wasn't supposed to be, you know, it wasn't supposed to be bargained with by our employer. Oh, you can have your fucking Second Amendment outside this workplace, but when you're on the clock, no firearms. Alright, punk. Do you want to die? Be full-blown psycho about it. Ask them, do they want to die? And when they accuse you of making a threat, simply state to them, I'm just stating what would happen if we didn't arm our employees. We're all gonna die. And then end it by saying, granted, we're all gonna die anyways, but there is some avoidable causes of those deaths that can easily be avoided if we had a firearm. You know, don't be afraid to be high fucking value. Don't be afraid to be right. And some of you overcomplicate shit, bro. Oh, we need to do this and pass these laws to fucking control the fucking corporation more. No. Maybe if you're retarded. Maybe if you're retarded, you don't know any other fucking, you don't know better. But all in all, you know, I think these schools would be a lot safer if we let these teachers carry firearms and let our fucking retail workers carry firearms. Like, oh man, I want to lock up the fucking toothpaste at the Chicago Walmart. It's like, why don't you just arm your employees? You think you're gonna face theft if the fucking employee has a fucking Glock 9 sitting right on his waist? Good luck. Good luck. Let's overcomplicate this shit. Let's spend a bunch of tax dollars trying to police this shit. It's like you have a guy hired at your workplace and he just stands there and he's a part of your business. He just stands there and there's boxes going by on a belt and he needs to scan them, but he doesn't have a scanner. Just like the retail employee, there's fucking customers going by stealing items, but he doesn't have a gun. Rather than hiring on a new person to come in and scan these boxes, there's already a guy scanning there. Just give that guy the scanner. I already tried this once. I was celebrated for a minute at a warehouse, but yeah, instead of bringing in the police force, bringing in a new fucking hire to come and protect you that just costs way more money, spend $500 one time, put a fucking gun on an employee's waist, and goddamn protect your fucking company. And if you're a CEO, you should be meeting your employees. You know which one's gonna be the best choice with a fucking gun. You know. You're not stupid. I'll tell you what would be stupid. To not arm your fucking employees. I mean, that's a no-brainer. I feel like if you're a company whose employees are not armed, when this great replacement starts happening and people really, you really start seeing like, oh shit, Coca-Cola got replaced by fucking Mr. Beast soda. You know, when you really start seeing this shit, the people who replace the old news, the old companies, are all gonna actually let their employees carry guns. Because all of them honor the Constitution. They actually honor people's individual constitutional rights. Like, yeah, they honor the law as well. They honor, you know, theft of property and property rights and stuff like that. That's all in the Constitution. They honor it all. It's really easy to reject the Constitution for the sake of profit. But be careful. There is karma for putting prices on others' lives.